Hello there. I started a YouTube channel during lockdown in 2020 from the coronavirus. I'm a childminder and I'm trying to think of different ways of working to make it work for childminders during the pandemic that's across the UK at the moment and the rest of the world. One thing I'm considering is how I can show potential parents around my home that might be interested in using my setting and would like me as their childminder potentially. As a childminder, we do something called a show around. Well, that's what I call it anyway. And it's when I invite the families to my house to show them around, to show them all the resources I've got. At the moment, we're all in our own homes and we're on lockdown, so I won't be able to show families around. So this video should hopefully give you more information about me so you can make an informed decision about whether you'd like me to be your childminder. Also, it may be of use to families that don't really know anything about childminders, how they work, how their homes work. It might give you some information as well. If you find it useful, then that's a bonus. So this is our show around how I'd normally do it. I'll show you around my home, I'll tell you a bit about me, and then I will tell you a bit about how I work. And then if you have any questions, then you can come back to me afterwards. I hope it's of use. I'm not a professional YouTuber, so this is a bit rough around the edges, but hopefully it gets the right message across. Thank you. Right, so welcome to my home. As you enter, the stairs is in front. And it takes you straight through to the back where the playroom and kitchen and all the fun is. But whilst we're here, I'll just show you in the bathroom, which is on the left. This is the bathroom that all the children use. And in here, all the children, each day, we have a multitude of hand towels for the children, all colours of the rainbow. They choose their own hand towel each day, and that's theirs for the day for hygiene reasons. And there's the toilet and the sink. Okay, just as you come in, actually, on the right hand side here is the snug. This is a room that's not used for childminding, but I'll show you in anyway, so you know. This is a room that's used by our family where we can watch telly and relax. Here's Colin. Hi. There we go. There's Mindy, our pet dog. Mindy, come and say hello to the camera. And here's Ethan. Here's my boy. Are you busy doing schoolwork, Ethan? Yeah. Oh, amazing. Very good. So, welcome to our play area. This is a setup that I've done today because everything's actually away at the moment because we're currently in the coronavirus lockdown.
I made a sword.
You made a sword. So this is some Lego that the boys have down. Now this is very typical of a normal school holidays with the older children. They'd have the Lego down here on the table and be able to play. The smaller children that want to play with the Lego, they are allowed to play with it, obviously, but I sit with them and give them one-to-one attention to make sure they play with it carefully so they don't upset the other children by breaking up the amazing constructions that they've built. Look at these. But also I make sure it doesn't go in their mouths, but they learn to still have fun, but be careful with it. So here's some Lego, and I'll take you around the room. This is the nice relaxing sofa that we recently got, that you can sit and relax and read some stories. We can have snuggles on here. We've got a lot more books than this, but they're in storage. We circulate them round. Then around to the play area here. This is changed virtually every day, all guided by the children and what they like. There's all these different boxes of toys, so there's a selection for all interests in here. We've got the flags out because it's VE Day at the weekend for the end of World War II. This is what the babies might want to play with, but we really do follow the children's lead about what they're interested in. We've made our own street up there for the trucks to go along. I've got some lovely pictures up here, some artwork, some thank you frames. I'm careful not to show pictures of childminding children's faces because I'm always very particular on making sure that we're very careful with photographs of children. And look at this, this is a picture I got recently as well for Christmas. How lovely is that? Thank you for believing in me from one of my children. So over here, here's some pretend play stuff, loads of boxes of that. You'll notice here, unfortunately, one of these dollies had an accident, and it was all part of one of our singing sessions when Miss Polly's dolly was sick. So we made them better by giving them a plaster and a bandage. But there's a big selection of dress up and everything that I circulate round for interest. Here's our play kitchen. We've got out our play laptop. Do you want to show us how it works, Ethan? You do love the play laptop, don't you? Can you do me some very fast speed typing? Wow, amazing. Now there's lots of, usually lots of stuff all over the top of the kitchen here, but it's in the boxes at the moment, so it's easier for me to clean it very regularly because of the infection control that we have in place here. All the wooden blocks and toys. And then I'll just take you round. This is our craft area. Ethan's in the process of making his egg box daffodil, which is going to be great. A question mark. Very good. Wow, we've got shakers and everything. And then here's where the babies sit. There's a high chair that's low down, so they feel like they're involved. The babies, all the children are involved in everything, so they can still take part in the drawing, the feeling, the ripping up of paper, whatever they want to do. But they can sit safely because safety's a priority for us. Okay, and then if I just turn around here, I'll try and do it so I can get everything in the screen. We have the kitchen area. At the moment, the paperwork sat on the islands, the homeschooling. I'm leaving everything exactly how it is. This is a working home. This is why you choose a childminder, because it's a home from home setting. Look, we've even got our dirty dishes in the sink still from this morning. And that is the joy of sending your child to a childminder's house. It is just like their home. It is a real home that children feel part of. They get used to all the processes in a home and and it gives you so many ideas for the children to then follow for their pretend play, because they can copy what they've seen, and gives them lots of inspiration, doesn't it? It also helps here having the kitchen in the same place, because it means that I have a lovely view of all the children playing whilst I prepare the food, and I'm with them all the time, so we can chat away together. On to outside. Oh, here's another high chair as we go. On to outside. We have quite a small garden, but it seems to work very nicely for us. It was recently redone. We have fake grass down here. Here's Mindy, our pet dog. We have our fake grass down, which is fantastic for us because it dries really quickly if it rains. Here's the doggy. She's interested in your question mark, Ethan. What else have we got out here in the garden? So we have tennis, a whole box of all the different toys. Got our washing to hang out soon, which is another part of being a home from home setting. We've got the new plants that came in that we planted last year when we had the new garden, which has been wonderful because the children have been watching the new flowers come through and how plants grow and what they need. Got the water table. This is all ready for an activity later that I'm going to do on a video. What's it for? What story?
It's for the whale and the snail.
The whale and the snail. That's right. So we'll be seeing that a bit later. It's filled up with water when I have very close access to the children for safety reasons. So we've got the cars, we've got loads of balls, we've got a bench here in the shade in the garden. And actually, so I found a snail and it wasn't looking too well. I found it in the garden, so I put it inside of the lettuce in hope that it would get a bit of water and a bit of food that I think it desperately needs.
Mindy.
Everybody's looking. Hopefully the snail will come back to life. But this is quite similar to what I do. I find lots of different sensory activities and learning opportunities for the children outside. Here's another ride on. A playhouse. Inside the playhouse we've got mega blocks and bubbles and balls and math stuff and abacus, and every few weeks we change it around a bit, so it might be a shop, it might be an ice cream parlour, it might be a doctor's surgery, but we use this house really well. And now this is the secret. Not many people know this, but Emma's house is actually a magical house. And it's mostly because of this area here, which is the children's garden. But if you can read, you'll see it says Fairies Meeting Place, Nightly Gatherings After Dark. And if you look very closely, you might see a fairy. And we'll have to be quiet now, but we might also see the fairy house in here. Wow, just behind the very fragrant rosemary. It smells delicious. And can you smell it, Ethan? Can you see a fairy?
Yeah.
Oh, well done. Wow.
And a fox with it.
And a fox guarding it.
And a piece.
And a policeman. And then we have some chalks. We have the drawing, the chalkboard here.
Yeah, I've got thousands of balls.
Thousands of balls. Sometimes we bring the resources outside, depending on what the children's interests are. So just over here, we actually have a sundial. Ethan, can you tell me what time it is according to the sun, please?
Okay. Oh.
What time is it? Can you see? What's it near?
I'm just going to come in.
Okay, I'll let you tell us when you can get up there.
Okay.
Whilst you're trying, we're just going to show everybody these.
Oh, that hurt.
Jack and the Beanstalk. We read the story. I delivered beans to plant for all the children whilst we were on lockdown. We all felt close together. Can you see what it says, Ethan?
It's in the middle of 11 a.m. and 12 p.m.
Well done. So it might be 11:30?
Yeah.
Well done. Very good. So back to Jack and the Beanstalk. We've all planted the plants ourselves, and we've all watched them grow together. We've compared the sizes, and we've had lots of amazing discussion around height, around what plants need to grow, around whose is the tallest, which ones are taller, which ones are thin, which ones are wider, and the different colours of leaves. So there was so much discussion, and though we're all apart, it was something we all managed to do together, which was great fun. So that's the house. I hope you enjoy it. It is changed around very regularly according to the children. Everything in here is done according to individual children's needs and interests. Now there's some information about me. This is a picture of my family, my husband and my two sons, age 11 and 6. Hello there. So you've seen my home and you've just seen a photograph of my family. I thought I would tell you a bit more about myself before I go into how I work. So I'm 40 years old. My name is Emma. I've been childminding for 6 years now. 6 amazing years. I absolutely love my job. I'm very passionate about it, and hopefully if you look on my YouTube channel and see some of the stories that I do with the children, that you might actually see that through my work as well. I've had 2 Ofsted inspections where I've been graded good, and I've had many children from the age of 6 months up to, I've got a 10-year-old child with me now, and my own child's 11 years old. So I've got good experience with a vast age range and also different needs of children as well. So I wanted to talk a bit about myself and my ethos and how I work. I work as a childminder that's used a childminder. I'm sympathetic to parents. I still remember the day that I dropped my firstborn off with a childminder. And I also remember the other things that go on whilst I'm at work and thinking about their day. Maybe they didn't have a good night's sleep and I worried about them. I do everything in my power to alleviate the stress for you. I've got good communication with parents, and they can always contact me if they've got a question, and always feel reassured that we're having the best possible day. I'll go into the communication a bit later on, but that was just a bit about me to explain where I come from. Now, another ethos in my setting is teamwork. I love good teamwork with children. If they feel like a good part of a strong team, which is what we'll be in our home, in my setting, but also the community, then they feel valued, because everybody's got their value. Part of being a team is the fact that you take other people's strengths, and we always notice and appreciate other people's strengths and how they could help us as well, and we make everybody feel very valued and special in our setting. And the other one is that I really strongly recommend and I strongly promote is independence. We love independence in this house. When you're able to do your own thing, if you want to play outside and maybe I'm in the middle of a nappy change, if you're able to do your own shoes and go out there, how amazing is that? How rewarding can that be? So I teach independence as well from the minute children come to me. so that they're able to conquer most of the challenges that children encounter at a young age. I work them through that. We try and push boundaries in our setting, and we try to overcome any hurdles that we find, either with teamwork or encouragement or help from me. There's lots of different methods that I employ. So that's how I work. We spend a lot of time outside. You could probably tell from my suntan. I walk a lot. You may know me locally. I push a massive buggy. I call it the Beast. It's a triple buggy with a child at the front. Lots of people love it. They always comment to me about it. The reason why I do that is because that's how children learn, and that's what children love. They love being able to get up close with nature, with the world that they live in. Get out the buggy, have a feel of the tree, have a sniff of the branch, of the leaf, have a look, run through the daffodils, see all the beautiful colour all around you. That is how children learn, and that's how we get children talking. That's why I walk almost everywhere. I do a lot of steps each day, but I do it for everybody, for my fitness, because it's important that I stay healthy and well, but also for your children, because they learn so much from it, rather than sitting in a car and flying past things and not getting a chance to say what they've seen. So that's how I work, and it's also a very loving environment as well. It's just full of cuddles and love, and every child feels completely valued and they feel like my own. I call all of my childminding children my extended family, and that's exactly what they are. I love them like my own, and I look after them like my own, and hopefully through my actions, if I work with you, you'll be able to see that yourself. So a little bit more about how the actual paperwork side of things works. On a daily basis, I fill out a child's daily diary, and in their daily diary it gives information that's important to parents so that you can continue the care in the evening, such as how many nappies they've done, bottles, sleep, how much food they've had. Also, we write down what we've done during the day, your child's key achievements, and it's our way of communicating. So you will be provided with one of these which you can keep in your day bag and bring to my house each day. Throughout the day, I send WhatsApp messages to families. If you have WhatsApp, if you don't, we find another way of doing it. I send pictures and videos and updates of your child. That will then put your mind at ease when you first leave your child, to actually see how much fun they're having and the big beaming smiles on their faces. It's also nice then because we get the good relationship with parents, so we can work together. You can see the methods that I use, and it's all about the teamwork. The teamwork expands to the with home, to being at home, so we can all be consistent in the approach with your children. So that's on a daily basis. I do lots of paperwork as well to ensure that your child is progressing. What we do as a childminder is nearly exactly the same as nurseries and reception class at schools. So nurseries and reception class, they follow the early years foundation stages, and that's exactly what I do as well. So I go through and I make sure every child in my setting is given the opportunity to expand their knowledge and their learning opportunities in all of the areas of learning. And those are personal, social and emotional. So that's when they become maybe frustrated, or when they want a bit more confidence, when they make friends, that type of thing. There's communication and language, and it's not just about the talking, it's also about the listening and the understanding, and that starts from such a young age with children. They're always listening. Even before they're born, they can hear things that are going on in the womb. So we continue that from the minute the child starts at the setting. We then also have physical development, so that's them learning how to use their bodies and realizing they're actually in control of their limbs. They're actually in control of their hands, their fingers and their body, and it's taking them through that amazing, incredible process, and watching them learn is amazing. On that subject, I help with potty training here. That's something, it's just a home from home, so whatever your child needs to learn, they do it here too. And I work with homes so we can work through it in easy, manageable steps, so your child enjoys the process, as do the parents. We then do the more specific areas of learning. We do English and reading, and we do mathematics, understanding the world, arts and design, technology. There's so many different areas that children can learn from, and we give them those opportunities every single day in our settings. Those reports, I fill out this for myself, and every child has their own learning record, which I keep at my house, and the parents are very welcome to read through it. Or I also do regular updates to parents where I break this huge amount of paperwork down into a manageable bite-sized information for parents. So I email you to say, these are the amazing achievements, huge long list of achievements that your child has done recently, and this is what I would like to do next. Have you got any plans? And we work together through those. So we've gone through a number of things on this video. I've shown you around my home, I've told you a bit about myself, and I've explained a little bit about how childminders work. So I hope you realise now quite how much childminders do and how similar they are to nurseries and schools. But hopefully you've also noticed the difference between a childminder and a nursery, or a preschool, or a nanny, or maybe a family member. Because every single one of them is different. They all have value. I think they're all fantastic. They've got a great place in the child's upbringing, but it's up to you to choose the right place. So this takes us on to the last part of the video, where I kind of discuss how you choose which is the best place for you. We can't make that decision for you, and certainly I would never push you into doing that. It's entirely up to you, and the best advice that I can give you is to follow your gut instinct. When you walk into a home, you'll be able to tell how the childminder, how I interact with your child, and how I approach my childcare. Every child in my setting feels valued and very loved. I treat them like my own children. They are my extended family, which is why I'm missing them so much whilst they're away during lockdown. But that's why I'm making lots of videos for them and so many plans for when they return. You will feel in your stomach whether it's the right place for you, but also you need to think of a few practicalities. Is this the same kind of type of setting with the same value? Is this what you promote in the home? We are really outdoorsy, we love to have adventures, we love to push our boundaries and see how far we can push ourselves. Is that the sort of approach that you take to life? It's better to find somebody that also has the same values in the way that they raise their children to what you have in your home, because consistency is key where it comes to bringing up children, and we want to be consistent with the way that you approach childcare, your child's upbringing as well. So if the childminder has a similar approach where they deal with things in a similar manner, then that's really important. But there's also a couple of other things you need to consider. Consider the hours that the childminder works. Does that suit you and your needs for work? I work Monday to Friday from 7:30 a.m. till 6:30 p.m. I work by myself, so I have 3 children under the age of school in my care at any one time. So it may be a case where I have more than 3 children on my books, but they all come on different days. So if you see me out and about, I will generally only have 3 little ones, and then I will have older ones as well around nurseries and schools. And in the school holiday, we're all together to have fun, which is amazing. So you have to make sure that the childminder works the hours you want and has the right combination of children and has the availability that you need. Also consider as well the cost of the childcare provider. If you're looking to use me as your childminder, I'm happy to send out my fees policy, which explains how much I charge per hour and how I manage my holiday, sickness and other times off where I may have appointments. So make sure you find out about that. And also think about the practicalities. You may absolutely love the childminder. It may be within your budget, but the childminder needs to also be positioned in the right place for you as well. I've had families that have driven and left their car here and walked to the train station from here, so that works perfectly for them. But I've also had families where only one parent has a vehicle and they weren't able to get to me, so they had to find somewhere closer to home. So please consider that, just to save any disruption for the child. Finding the right childcare and one that you can stick with is really important for your child's upbringing, because it is the consistency word again, because that's how children learn best. When they feel happy, secure, safe, then they absorb information like sponges, and we get so much from them. I hope this has given you loads of information in this video, but not bombarded you. Any questions, contact me. I will be putting other videos on this YouTube channel. These are stories that I share with my childminding children whilst we're all apart, activities, and just other things as well, which you may find of interest. If you do, then have a look. If not, then please don't worry. It's just my method of sharing information. Stay safe, and hopefully I'll hear from you soon. Thank you for your time. Bye bye.